Motor Racing Sim Club, since its inception back in 2021, has given us some of the greatest championships to date, from the humble beginnings of the DTM Championship to the recent Formula One World Championship. It's clear that competition is alive and fierce. But out of the 3.5 years of its existence, there has always been that one series that has stood the test of time as of the league's closest to date. 2022 saw the TCR Euro-Asia Series in its eye-watering 3-wide racing with the inclusion of reverse grids. 2023 witnessed the BTCC Legends Championship, still talked about to this day, with its perfect balance of performance. And finally, 2024 had the Ferrari Challenge, where the points battle could not have been closer, with a 3-way tie at the end of it all, with the addition of your points going to your best result per round. So now, how does 2025 top all that? Combine all 3 championships and create something sim racing has never seen before. Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club presents the TCR World Series.
All the days when I was searching for some kind of sign, now I've reached the destination with someone of my kind. Keep me breathing with a feeling like an LED light. Now I'm moving through the shadows. You woke me up tonight. I know that everything's in focus now. I'm seeing clearly for the first time. Today I woke up feeling more alive. Tomorrow everything will turn around.
Welcome to Donington Park. Located in England, Donington Park National Circuit is one of the UK's most iconic venues for touring car racing. Originally opened in 1931, it was Britain's first permanent park circuit, and after the post-war revival in the 1970s, it became a home for high-stakes and elbows-out action. Our main focus will be the national layout. It measures 3.1 kilometers with just 10 corners, but don't be fooled. It's fast-flowing and absolutely relentless, with its unique mix of elevation, camber, and mixed-speed sweepers. Donington demands commitment and rewards rhythm. Over the years, the track has hosted everything from Formula One briefly in 1993 to World Superbikes, British GT, and touring car royalty with BTCC and TCR UK. In CMRSC, Donington Park has played host to all iterations of the DTM World Championship, but the national layout was only used during the 2022 90s Touring Car Championship. When TCR machinery hits the national layout, it's an all-out sprint. Short laps, close grids, and door-to-door drama from lights to flag. Forget downforce, this is where front-wheel drive warfare begins. Let's dive into what makes Donington National such a TCR battleground, starting off with, of course, Turn 1. A classic opening right-hander. Brake late, hug the inside line, and get ready for the downhill plunge. Side-by-side starts are common here, but only one line really works. Turn 4, the old hairpin. Don't let the name fool you, however. This is a fast hairpin. Carry too much speed and you're into the gravel. Nail the exit and you're set for a strong run to the uphill. Turn 6, McLean's. A tough uphill right-hander with a blind apex. Easy to overshoot, especially under pressure. Front-wheel drive cars struggle to rotate here, so trail braking is everything. And then, turn 8 and 9, Roberts chicane, the big bust up. This left-right chicane is your best overtaking spot on the national layout. Expect bold lunges, lockups, and side-by-side drama. It's also the final corner, so exits matter, especially to the run to the line. However, maybe running the correct direction, that final chicane would be going right to left. But no matter, Donington Park isn't about survival. It's about control, bravery, and taking big chances when they come. So, in TCR racing, that means intense drafting battles in late braking duels and non-stop pressure over every lap. Short racing, big moments. If you want proper touring car action, this is where you're going to find it. In the world of Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club, this will be host of the 4th round of the 2025 CMRSC TCR World Series. A circuit not known by the masses still pulled off a spectacle as drivers gave it their all, and now the championship fight is really up for grabs. Nasseir returned strong with 2 victories in the Brazilian Grand Prix, making history, and not only is he at a distant 8th in points, the momentum shift has really painted his championship picture. Now onto a grander scale. The next stop before the Green Hell takes place here in the UK, where we see BOP used for the final time in the championship. So that begs the question, who will come out strong in the penultimate race of the championship, as this is round 4. The British CMRSC TCR Grand Prix. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club, and it is time for the 4th round of the championship. It's the TCR World Series. The drivers getting ready to do battle here in the UK at a circuit CMRSC is all too familiar with. We're here at Donington Park, and the layout, it's the National. This is a much shorter one, so we're not going to be going through the famous Melbourne hairpin, as we saw amazing titanic battles, including Sander van Leeuwen and Justin Nasseir back in 2022. We're not going to be seeing all those dive bombs into the final hairpin as they head on back to the front straight. No, we are going to be seeing something a little bit different, as once we get off of the back straight, they head straight through a short chicane back on to the main straight here. We haven't seen this circuit since last year's DTM World Championship, and this time, now we're in TCR machinery. So it'll be very interesting to see what goes on here today, but it should be a fantastic event. We're just 2 minutes away from to the ending of practice, and then we'll get into qualifying. So, a lot of things to talk about, a lot of important things to note, but as we head into today's race, I'm your host, Rahul Nasseir, owner and founder of Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club, and we have an amazing championship penultimate round. It's the last round. We're going to be seeing BOP take part in this championship. Why don't we look at the points and find out what's been going on so far? because, well, it's very interesting. Take a look at it. Now, remember, Jaden Harrison last week, we didn't see him race. So now it's really got the championship turned on its head because now the drivers behind have been able to catch up. A tie in points between Vito Ribeiro and Peter Sabot. However, no sign of Peter. At least for this moment here. I think he's still getting into the server, but hopefully we'll see him. I'm not too sure about Vitor either. Haven't taken a close look at the entry list, but nonetheless, should be a spectacular one to go to. Daniel Santos, as those two drivers are tied for second. Don't let the number on the left discriminate or anything like that, because Santos and every of the drivers behind the top two drivers ahead of him, they get shifted up. So, Daniel Santos up there with 40 points, just 5 points behind that draw, just ahead of them. And then it's Mike Van Dorn, Kasper Tazayaki, Rupert Tab, Eamon Esbier. And the list just continues to go on. So, a great field of drivers out here today. But this time around, we got ourselves a couple of debuting drivers and a couple of returning drivers, and one of those drivers to note is the man who's currently sitting P1 in practice and in the pits. So that is Krogsgaard. Currently sits P1. It's been fastest all week. No sign of him or Andy Masu racing in this championship, so it's great to see the team coming back at it here in this penultimate round of this championship. Who do we else have on here? We have Christian Ramau, who currently sits in the pits. Regan Milana sitting P3. A debut driver here, Lucas Smith. Then, as we get through all the drivers, let's actually take a closer look in pit lane. And we have some fantastic liveries to look at. The Trinidadian of Nixon Roll. So, following down, who else do we have? Mike Van Doren, another new driver here, Layla. We have Santos. Unfortunately, myself, I'm not going to be racing here. DeVille Park, Peter Sabot. You're going to see all these drivers on the track. It should be a fantastic one. Well, Donington Park is not just any kind of circuit. It was the circuit that first brought CMRSC onto the scene. This track hosted the very first event back in 2021. Never seen on stream. It was never even caught on camera, but I can tell you it was a very fun race with BTCC machinery. But we're looking at the timer now. We are just 16 seconds away from qualifying to begin. Let's get this one underway here for qualifying for the British Grand Prix, the penultimate round of the championship. And here we go. Qualifying is now underway here for the fourth round of the championship. Welcome out to Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club's TCR World Series. The drivers heading out now for just 10 minutes of qualifying here on the national layout of Donington Park. Drivers out on track. Why don't we take a look and find the drivers who's going to be setting their first lap times. And here we have two very, very fast drivers out here in the form of Mads Krogsgaard and Eamon Esbier. Mads, fastest all week. Nobody was able to touch his fastest lap time over in practice. And, well, now, ahead of him, it's Eamon Esbier. It's the driver who has been winning last week out in a huge, huge event. The Brazilian Grand Prix really going to him, and well, he has proved himself after his 2-round hiatus, but now he is back. So we're gonna find out what he can do around here at Donington, and let's see if he is the one that could take pole position as he heads into turn 1, braking hard now, wanting to kiss the apex and heading out, accelerating out and onto the downhill sections of Hollywood and then into the old hairpin. Could take pole position. Just doing a mic check, but as he heads into The old hairpin looks very good. And then we pass through Starkey's Bridge. Just on the left-hand side, a very old circuit. Donington Park is as old as almost into the 1930s that this track has really been around, but it of course did not look like this, as now Nasseir heads into the blind apex, a very tricky part of the circuit to get right. But at the moment, Nasseir is looking very quick. And now he's just got the final chicane to worry about. So the cars will stick on the left-hand side of the circuit and then fly through this final chicane. Very tight through here, so you want to make sure you stay within track limits. And Nasseir is going to do a clean job at it. He's going to come across the line now. And with Mads following behind him, it's going to be Mads with a 109.759. But Eamon is going to be a second, over a second and a half down, so he's got some catching up to do in this one. Peter Sabot goes up to second, so 110.806. And there we see the Dutchman of Lucas Smith. He's going down through Hollywood, and so far, well, nothing's good for him on his lap time. He's currently sitting P5, but the driver from Trinidad, Nixon, that's going to be a lap time there, going up to third. And take a look at the livery. An awesome looking Purple Hearts there. Show me your heart. That is honestly probably one of my favorite liveries there on track. But nonetheless, though, let's get back into this qualifying session and really focus on the drivers as we watch now the Dutchman, Luca, in his first race. He's done a lot of practice sessions throughout the years as Lesmana goes up to second. We've never seen him in racing conditions. Well, he's a feisty driver. He can talk the talk, but let's see if he can walk the walk. Of course, this is only qualifying, and anything and everything can go down here. No matter what position you start in, it's going to be helpful for the main race. But for qualifying, at least, you want to put yourself in the best position possible, as he does so at the moment, P3. So still some time to improve, and wants to start finding his way into the 109s, which so far it only belongs to Krogsgaard, as he is almost matching his first sector time. He's just that bit off. We welcome everyone joining into the stream. Good morning, evening, afternoon, night, wherever you are around the world. We appreciate you joining us here for this fourth round of the championship. Next week out, we head to the Green Hell. We head to the Nürburgring, but the Nordschleife. So it's an event you do not want to miss. And the drivers are going to be setting themselves up perfectly heading into that one. Final chicane now for Krogsgaard. Wants to navigate it as quick as possible, but stay within track limits, and he has not done so. And he's going to head it straight into the pits to not interfere with the driver behind, Nasseir, who's gone down to P8 and still stays there even when he improves. Couple more drivers heading back on track. Quick splash and dash of fuel as Smith now goes up to second and lines himself up on the front row next to Madsen. Well, nobody's been able to touch that first lap time of him, and we'll see if he can improve anywhere. But as you see the sector times light up, let's watch now the Brazilian of Christian Romão. The blue, white, and black Cupra. There's a lot of Cupras, as you see on the leaderboard. The championship drivers have decided that that is their car of choice. Having some trouble here is Layla. Looks like there may be some sort of issues. She's trying to get connected into the session. At the moment, looks good. And trouble for P3 as Lesmana in the gravel. I don't know if he just came out of pit road, but if he did, I think he's just desperately trying to get out the way, not to hamper anybody's lap times. So here comes Nixon now through the double right-hander. Once again, very tricky part of the circuit, and this whole section of the track is really going to be bumper to bumper, following each other throughout this section, and then it's all down to the chicane. Now, it's very tight when it comes to track limits, so the drivers have to be very, very kind through it. So racing is going to be pretty tricky around there if drivers do dare to go through. But as Nixon comes into the pits, we can now watch Layla come across the line, and looks like this could be now the first lap time officially in this qualifying session that she'll be taking down. Mads now. Purple in the first sector. Looks really good. Has a car ahead of him, but it could be something good for his case, because he could catch a bit of slipstream as they head down on the back straight. If I was aiming, I put the power down and try to not give him any. Mads has lost a tiny bit of time in the middle sector, is now a half a tenth up, but as he heads into the final chicane, very close to the white lines, exits out to the front straight, nailing it now, racing to the line. It feels like ages, but once he gets across, he's faster with a 109.667. Santos desperately trying to get out the way for the man who's currently sitting on provisional pole. Santos, in fact, he's actually on his outlap as well, so a lot of guys are suffering quite a bit in this one. But nonetheless, though, it's a faster lap time for Krogsgaard. He's got some fancy paint on his car. It was actually done by the one and only Lismana. He's been doing a lot of deliveries. You can see that are pretty identical. There's no teams in this championship, so as we watch Mads once again, he looks to be closing in on Eamon just ahead. But now as he nails through the double right-handers, he doesn't quite make the first apex, but it's pretty flat out. And you can see him, looks like he's warming up his tires. But as he heads into the final couple of corners, oh, we see Santos just making a mistake there, so not going to be a... So at the moment now, Mads, even though he was purple in the first sector, unfortunately, he decided to back out on that lap. And potentially maybe trying to get himself some sort of space. But here we go, 27.6 to beat, and he's just about quicker in the first sector. Passing by Starkey's bridge, heading up the hill now into the right-hander. It's pretty tricky in these TCR cars to try to get the nose turned in, but Lucas Smith is faster in the first sector. It's a race between the two drivers. We could have a pole position here on our hands. A battle at least, but here comes Krogsgaard on the back straight, 2 corners to navigate, and he's gone purple in the middle sector. Last chicane to go for him. Let's see what he can do. Oh, he makes a mistake, drops a tire in the grass. It's not only going to hamper this lap time, but the next one too. Lucas Smith on the front straight. Could it be a first time pole position for the rookie? No, it's not. He's 4/10 down. Purple, first sector and second sector. Mads is not going to get an opportunity at one more lap. He backs out. Luke as well is also done now. And checkered flag is out. Drama at the end of this qualifying session. Steinberg takes it to the pits. He cannot improve. P11 of Danny Nasseir stays P11. Next up is P9 of Layla. What can she do? Across the line. And stays P9. Now, up next, it's P7. Here we go, Nixon. Through the final chicane. Any time to improve at all? Is there? P6, yes, so there is improvement. Third row. And up next, who do we have there? Is it any improvement from them? Trying to look for them. It's Tiswanto and goes up to 12th. Decent qualifying from him. Final driver now. Is he on a valid lap time? We're going to find out in a couple moments, depending on when he comes across the line. Christian Romao may look like it could be a valid one. P4 at the moment. Come across. Nothing can be done. Stays P4. It's Mads on pole with a 109.667. All right, got qualifying there. Congratulations, your top 3, Mads, Luca, and Ilham. So remember, we're heading into the race now. It is a 1-lap rolling start, so once the lights go out, we'll be going around just once. And we'll be going green when race director announces it over the comms chat. Evan, let me know if you're able to hear me now. I did not speak before in voice chat, so... All right, cool. Thank you. So, great set of drivers here today. Glad to see everyone joining us. You should have about 9 or 10 cut warnings for you guys here for this race. So that should help you guys out there, especially I know the last chicane is a bit tight, but it's about 1/3 of the laps that you should be completing around here today. A minute 18 to go. Once again, it's going to be a rolling start. We're going to stay 2x2 for this one. And once again, once the row ahead starts to move, you guys can give each other some space before you start moving for your formation lap. We're going to ask to not do any weaving. Truth is, you can't really warm up your tires as much here in AC, so best to just keep it straight and just get ready for the call. We're going to wait till all drivers get back onto the front straight once the rolling start is complete, and we're going to get this one underway. So 38 seconds. Max speed 100 kilometers. Please, that is only your message for the front 2 drivers. The drivers behind, just maintain your pace. Once you get onto the back straight, start to close up that gap. Best of luck to everyone. Once again, rolling start. So once the lights go out, give each other some space, and we'll let you know when we're racing. Make sure that steering wheel button now before you get teleported into the pits. So, as drivers now, getting ready for this rolling start. Welcome you out here to a beautiful afternoon of racing. So, underway now for the rolling start. Here we go. So, drivers taking their time around here. Bit of a gap just coming through. But here we go. They're going to have about 5 minutes to come around if we need some emergency time. Nonetheless, though, should be a good one. Car is in the pit, so you don't got to worry about that. Mads is looking strong. Andy Rees in the chat. Welcome. So we have ourselves a very interesting battle here at the front. The rookie Lucas Smith, Mads P1. Those 2 drivers have never done a single race in this championship. Luca in his first race in this championship. Lesmana is the more experienced one, the most experienced one. Let's take a look at the points while we're at it. That's what it's looking like heading into this one, trying to get rid of those yellow flags, and we have done so. Timer on the leaderboard is once again having a bit of issues. So take a look at the top of your screen. That is going to be what we are looking at. So great qualifying. Mads clearly the faster one, but now we're getting into some racing conditions. So this should be truly interesting. All right, start to close up your gaps. Let's get 2x2 now as soon as possible. Here we go. A very important round in this championship. It's the penultimate race heading into the Nürburgring. This one is going to be for all the marbles here. Donington Park, the location for the penultimate round. 2 races here. So if I were you, I'd sit back tight, turn the volume up on your TV, and let's get ready for the action to unfold here. It's Donington Park. It's the British Grand Prix. Let's get this one underway. Green flag, green flag. Here we go. Luca's been caught napping. He's been suckered through down the order. It's Ramau on the outside. Mads on the inside, almost in the middle because Krogsgaard almost tapped out wide. Lesmana's gonna go through. Lesmana's in the lead, heading through Hollywood. Couple drivers off in the back. Mads is down to second. Peter trying to knock his way through, trying to go up to 3rd position. Cannot be done. Elham, dream start from him as they head into the old hairpin. Nothing like it, old hairpin. It's a flat-out right-hander. But as they head up the hill, past Starkey's Bridge, and then they head into the next hard-braking zone. It's single-file racing from the top guys. Christian Ramau wants to get a move on Krogsgaard. Can he find a way past? That's the real question. Peter Sabot also trying to find a move behind them. There's a bit of battles. Eamon Aspear, Evan Steinberg also trying to go through together. First time heading into the chicane. This is going to get juicy. Hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what goes on here. And it looks pretty single file at the moment, and it does. That is kind of what we expected there. It's not really the easiest place to get overtakes done, but it's time to get this one really underway as Regan Milana now looks up the inside. And who was that on? That was on Lucas Smith, so from P2 to P6, he may have been one of the fastest drivers in qualifying, but his start really put him on the back foot. Now he's got a long way to go. Oh, he's made contact with Regan Milana. He's taking himself out of the process. He's taking Regan out a second time. Taps him out the first time, kills him the second time. The police officer of Milana is down to 15th. More than likely is going to be an after-race penalty. And the dream qualifying start for Lucas Smith has gone from down worse from the very start of this one. He's going to have a lot of damage as well, might I add. It's 2 times he touched him. Meanwhile, Nixon having a bit of company behind because Evan and DeVille, both of them, hungry to pounce through. We also have Santos trying to go down the inside of Lucas Smith, and the Dutchman Fearshaw fights back. Crossing over the start-finish line, the mid-pack is really getting tight between each other. DeVille Park hunting down Steinberg. And tried to look for a move. Nothing can be done. But here we see a close battle up here for second position. Lesmana and Ramau, as they head past Starkey's Bridge. Gap between them, 4/10, 4.5. It's just a little bit increasing. And you see Peter Sabot kind of fading out in the distance. You see these cars going 3 wheels only on the tarmac. And take a look down here. Lucas Smith not done yet, trying to look for a move on the inside of DeVille Park. Gonna send it anyways. DeVille's gonna have the outside line to be able to put the power down much sooner, as Luca had to, well, hold up and wait for that green Hyundai to find his way through. Meanwhile, Daniel Santos starting to lose some patience. Smith going down the inside. He's got the move done. And that was a great move up the inside of DeVille Park. And trouble for Layla, running backwards in the order. Loses down a couple positions, goes to 12th. Van Dorn runs a little bit wide, heads back on. A lot of damage here for these drivers in the rear of this hard battle between the two. And now you see Luca down and found inside. He's done the same thing as he did with Regan, but this time around, he eats gravel. Went to the outside and went to the inside. Not the smartest of moves in a corner there. Wanted to fake DeVille, but has unfortunately broken his own ankles and has dropped down the order once again. And from P2, well, what are we, 3-4 laps in? He's gone down to 14th. Really has to calm it down. He's lost some positions. He cannot afford to lose more. And unfortunately, well, he's only 1 car behind him to call himself last. So he's got to calm it down. In his first race, he had qualifying nailed down. He knows he's very quick as DeVille runs wide off the circuit, gets right back on. Drivers have about 9 warnings before they get into a drive-through penalty. So, well, they have a lot to play with here. Really a lot of room. So, room for error in this series. Nonetheless, though, it's been a very messy early stage of this British Grand Prix main race. Remember, we have the sprint race coming up very soon. So do not miss out on it. Now Mike Van Doren and Daniel Santos. We have some trouble here. Santos is all over the road. He's cut the inside curb there. And he's, well, I don't know what's going on with them. I don't know if that's tires being overheated or what, but the Portuguese driver struggling quite a bit in this early stage of this race. Could be damage on his car. Well, there's only one to find out. Is there suspension damage? Doesn't look like there is, so at the moment, he's looking pretty fine. Here we see on board now with Santos as they head into the chicane. Hopping over it, and as it stands, positions still stay the same. We have a close battle, though, nonetheless, because Van Dorn is still trying to put the pressure on. Layla also in a little bit of trouble because DeVille Park had been really unlucky here, has lost out quite a bit. But let's see what she can do coming back up the field. Is there any possible opportunity to try to make a move here? DeVille is going to be watching very closely at the lines that Layla will be taking through this part of the circuit. And meanwhile, as this one goes down, a move is being made here. Nixon running out of room, losing out some positions. Mike's gone wide off the circuit. And now we see Van Dorn trying to go the inside. Layla's over there, though. So, crossed over the nose. Van Dorn trying to hold on for dear life. Able to. Van Dorn down to 9th. DeVille 10th. And Layla down to 11th. It's almost going to be 3 wide. But are they going to back out into the chicane? They do. Layla's gone down to 11th now. It may have been some sort of mistake. Take a look at this battle here. It's really led by Steinberg, a second leader, as Santos defends the Trinidadian of trying to make any move for P7 on board with the Portuguese driver down through Hollywood. And no sign of an overtake. The overtakes down here have been pretty tricky. And oh, trouble! Nixon! Nixon was very slow because Santos actually is making a move on Steinberg. They probably reacted to each other from a slow Steinberg going through the old hairpin. Van Dorn, however, runs off the road. He's off the track. Layla gets a move done on DeVille. He enters back on. He's going to lose some momentum. However, DeVille is not going to be able to bounce on that move. Mistakes galore from some of the drivers. Nixon now trying to see if the Hyundai has any chance on the Cupras up ahead for P7 and 6, respectively. Heading into the chicane, the battle for the mid-pack is really getting hotter as they head on to the front straight once again to begin another lap here. If the Hyundai has any chance. So just checking audio levels as Steinberg goes down the inside. Nixon can put the power down early, runs off the circuit, gets right back on, still side by side, heading into Hollywood. Very tight section, very odd for some racing, but with cars with no kind of downforces we've seen in like DTM, for example, contact could be happening, and it does. Nixon trying to hold on, able to hold on. Through goes Layla, as now she goes to 7th position. Whoa, what a counter there. To go through not 1, but 2 cars battling hard. Layla, 7th in her debut. Holy, this is awesome. This is incredible racing. We haven't even talked about the drivers at the front because they haven't really been that close, but now we can because Nasseir has now caught up to the Hungarian of Peter Sabot. Now, last week out, Peter Sabot, even though he won it on track, he took a 5-place time penalty for the contact he made with A-Man, who kind of knocked him out a little slightly. And then Peter tapped into, unfortunately, Mike Van Dorn took out Rahul Partab in the process. He took a time penalty for it. Both of them got a little heated after the race. But nonetheless, though, it's a brand new day of racing. It's, oh, trouble here! And Nixon and DeVille have just made a baby out of 2 Hyundai TCRs. And I don't know how we're still on the airways. He's flashing his headlights saying, what the hell was that? And I agree with him. Looks like a bit of a lag spike coming from him too. Caribbean drivers, and that was a scary incident for both of them where it could have taken each other out. Luckily, though, they're still in the running. That's the important part. But nonetheless, so DeVille doesn't look too happy. He wants this move done as soon as possible. And Nixon still holding on to the final points paying part of the track. But take a look at this. We have a battle for second position because Rahul is now starting to get this one closed up for P2. Krogsgaard has really opened this gap up, 4.3 seconds. So unless he makes any sort of mistake, it's going to be the battles below that we're going to be watching. But one thing's for sure, crowd's absolutely loving it here at Donington. The British crowd are really enjoying this action here, while they may not have a driver to root for their home country like they did last week with Vita Ribeiro. This is still some amazing racing. Peter Sabot, slow exit, and nowhere that Assetto can go, so he gives a friendly little bump. And that, unfortunately, has worked in the favor for the Audi, as he still sticks in fourth. Oh, and another slow exit this time around. Eamon Assetto could have a chance at this move now for fourth position. Can he successfully have it done? At the moment, it looks to be done and dusted, and it is. Eamon is up to fourth position. 2 mistakes back-to-back. For Peter Sabot, you got to imagine, is that tire wear potentially, or is that pressure coming from the Italian? Through the chicane, can anything be done? Unfortunately not. The battle continues hard between them. Side by side into the chicane, though almost. DeVille backs out of Nixon. Through the final chicane, onto the front straight. 20 minutes left to go of racing. And you can see in the background, Lucas Smith has now caught up to some competition. He's really started to focus his pace down, and this is what we want to see from him as they head into turn 1. Pretty close battle up here. 3/10 the difference, almost down to 2. Now, he's caught up to a car heading down through Hollywood and then into the old hairpin. He learned the first 2 times. You can hear him lifting. He does not want to make another mistake. He tries to go around the outside, switches to the inside. Danny Nasseir took a shallow line. That is how you get the move done. And Luca is now up to 12th position. That's what you need. And then it's now just biting his way through the competition. Luckily for him, he's got a large pack of drivers. The next couple, it's going to be DeVille and Nixon. Up ahead, it's going to be Van Dorn and Steinberg. Up ahead, Layla, Daniel. And then you're going to get up to P6. It's not that far off. And take a look at this. Side by side, Peter Sabot. Doors touching on the front straight. Heading into the first turn. Who is the first one to break? They're still side by side. What a battle this is. They head into Hollywood. But Eamon able to keep his position of 4th place. That's a warning shot. The Audi is still there for the taking. Heading into the old hairpin. Well, the gap is opened up now. Eamon realizing he's going to have a bit of work to do. Nixon, trouble! Slides into the gravel. You got to find out where Luca is. Coming up fast. And Luca's going to see a sitting Hyundai on the road and is going to pick that off, saying thank you very much. That is one less problem to worry about. Oh, wow. As they have one camera under the orbit of the Earth. We now watch this one here because these battles up the road are really getting heated now. This is a real fun showcase of racing heading into turn 1 once again. It's all about nailing your line perfectly. These cars, well, they don't have much downforce and they're pretty slow. So it's all about just nailing the easiest parts of the circuit and getting it right. There was some local yellows there for Officer Milano's, still in P15. Peter Sabot, however, trying to hunt down for this position. We also have Lesmana 7/10 down of Ramau. And he's really trying to close this gap up as soon as possible. Oh, here we go. A position has been made. Here's Steinberg and Van Dorn. Van Dorn up to 8th. And you saw a lot of curb being taken there from Steinberg. Probably a very awkward line heading into that right-hander. And unfortunately has left the American on the back foot for this one. awesome racing here in this 4th round of 5. We still have one more race to go after it, so you do not want to go anywhere. At the moment, though, it's Krogsgaard dominating here at Donington Park, the national layout we're using here today and only for today's event. We also have the sprint race, 10 laps coming up. The grid's going to be completely randomized, so no matter where you finish here, you could start P1 again, or you could start dead in the water back in last. But it's a standing start. However, Layla now, great exit against Santos. Round the outside. Can she put it down here? Any chance of a position? The inside line is very favorable around this part of the circuit. However, a little too much curb was used, but she still got the move done. CMRSC's 3rd female driver in the league's history. We have not seen the very first. She's not here with us anymore. Gone and done better things. The second being Lacey Fancher. Great podium back at Brazil in the main. And now, her 3rd female driver here. And are in the same camp, and take a look at this! Pit stops now underway, and our first one to come bite was actually Regan Milana, but the second driver to bite, it's Daniel Santos. He's come in for his stop. All drivers have to make their tire changes in this one. Meanwhile, another position could be made here as Steinberg is starting to run down the order. He's being overtaken now by DeVille, and well, he turned in a bit too early, and Steinberg has managed to save it. Unfortunately, he's lost out another spot. P8, DeVille. And we also have Lucas Smith now on Nixon, and Nixon once again lagging a little bit. Has got the run, though, on Luca, however. Could look for a move onto the inside. Very tight around here. Holding on. The Dutchman now has the inside line. Can Nixon find a way to hold on to the outside? No. Doris shot Lucas up to 10th. Another spot picked down. And this race continues. We are into the halfway point of this session. Expect more pit stops to start commencing. So far, though, it's only been Milana and Santos to bite in. However, I eat my words because now a couple drivers have heard my words. It's DeVille, it's Van Doren in for their stops. So both of them are going to get shuffled down the order. Let's a couple of these drivers go past, but for how long? Because they still need to make their pit stop. But still the front pack, the whole top 10, yet to make their pit stops at the moment. As they head back out on track, Milana has got Park, but unfortunately he's not been able to overtake Van Doren. Both of them on similar strategies. They pit early, and Van Doren is together with Milana, so as pit stops chart to go through, Milana should be getting some free positions as long as he sticks close with the Dutchman ahead. Still, though, this battle for P2, very close. The gap now 5/10. And Lismana has really not let go of this opportunity to overtake the Cupra for second. Civil war between them. Sabot comes in for his pit stop. He was P6. As they head through Hollywood, you can see all the dirt being kicked up into the old hairpin. And gets back going. But Lesmana has a much better run, heading up into the next chicane. Or should I say double right-hander? It's almost a triple right-hander, actually, not a chicane. As they head up the hill, blind apex. Ramau carrying a lot more speed. And is still able to hold on to this position. 4/10 the difference. Pit stops, remember, could still play a big part. Lesmana will know that all too well about the overcuts and the undercuts. He was overcut in last week's race against Kasper Taziaki. So I don't think he's going to want the same thing to happen to him. I know he's going to want to nail that advantage. But Lesmana, still nothing can be done down the order. We have Steinberg, who's really fallen off the pace quite a bit. Leila in for her stop. She was currently P5. She's going to go down the order. But you see there, Evan Steinberg is, well, he was pretty ahead in this field, but now he's gone backwards overall. But now as they head into the chicane, crucially the driver to be overtaken by him. Oh, he's caught the curb at a bad angle, and here comes Lucas Smith now onto the slipstream, looking to the inside. Can he get the move done side by side? And Steinberg, before they even head into the apex, Steinberg's going to move and lose that position. And Luca's going to go up to 11th place. 3/10 the difference between P2 and P3. Steinberg, while he may be down the order, it's still not over for him. Pit stops are underway. And while has he made a pit stop? He has already. It's all going to be about just nailing down with these fresh compounds. As we all talk about that, another stop has already been made at the moment. Christian Ramau in. And seamlessly out. That was a very quick stop from him. And here comes Nixon and coming into the pits. And meanwhile, that's a very, very quick stop from Christian Ramau. Back out on track. And has only gone down to 4th place. So great stop by the Cooper crew of that number 131 car, the Brazilian. So he's very much still in this fight. P11 of Nixon should be exiting out pits very shortly. Ooh, DeVille in again, potentially? Yes, I think so. I think he's gone in for a second time. May not have enough fuel in the car. And Nixon's still in, probably fueling up that one, getting some fuel in and getting right back on track as soon as possible. We also have a move here potentially. Lucas Smith, Regan Milana. Officer Milana had already made his pit stop in terms of Lucas Smith. He also has made his pit stop, so this one's all for position. Luca to the inside, gets the move done. No stress about it, he's got that one. An Officer Milana's gonna have to step back. Lucas up a position. Eamon Espeir in for his pit stop. And coming out now, we're also going to have a little bit of a race because the Audi of Peter Sabot is going to get ahead of Eamon. And so Peter, 4th position now. Already has his pit stop made. 2 drivers left to go to make their stops. It's Krogsgaard and Lesmana. Still have to make their pits, but as for Peter, he's gotten it done perfectly here. 9 minutes, 18 seconds left to go in this main race. 10 laps in the sprint to come up directly after this one. P1 and P2 now in for their pit stops. And now fight is on here. We look on board with Christian Ramau as he heads into the final chicane. Krogsgaard already heading back out onto the circuit. But now it's the battle on for pit exit here. Who's going to be the one to do it? It should be Ramau. It could be. And yes, he does. Gets through. That is a big gap there. Lesmana now has gone down. And the hunt begins back. 2.3 seconds the difference between them as they head into the final 8 minutes and 30 seconds of this British Grand Prix. Interesting to note, Lucas Smith has set the first sector purple. Is trouble there for Layla, making a mistake out of turn 1 and has been sent backwards there down to 8th. So she's got some work to do to try to get back up. Meanwhile, 6/10 the difference as Eamon Espeir and Peter Sabot commence their battle once again. All drivers have made their pit stops officially here, so it's all down to race to the checkered flag. And a podium potentially could be on the grasps for any of these drivers. However, Peter Sabot and Eamon is going to have to get a move on, but it's still in reach because Lesmana and Ramau may have a battle soon. However, Peter Sabot going off track, going backwards now, and Eamon quicker as they head into turn 1. However, a little too far back to make the move. The gap is 5 tenths. 5 tenths the difference. Heading into turn 1. Eamon, no chance to capitalize on that mistake. And Nixon is the first one to bite. The amount of cut limits exceeded to 10, and unfortunately, now the driver from Trinidad has to make a drive-through penalty. And damn, already sitting in last place. It's the last thing that this car wanted was that drive-through, and unfortunately, it's really cost it big time. What's positive, though, there is still a massive opportunity in the sprint race to come back. But in terms of this one, a drive-through must be made in the next couple laps, and I think you just take it this lap. No, you may have to take it the next one. So a bit of a shame there. The first driver to gain a drive-through penalty as we head into the final 6 minutes, 30 seconds. Eamon still trying to find a way to get the 4th position. Is he able to find the pace? Let's take a look at those last lap times. Peter Sabot with a 1:11.0 and Eamon with a 1:11.6. So despite the mistake to start his previous lap, Peter Sabot is finding himself quicker in this one against Eamon. And I think he's going to want to start focusing on the car ahead because time is running out fast. Oh, he's missed the first apex there of the hairpin. Exiting out, though. Is there an opportunity at a battle for the podium? Is there any chance of more overtakes to be done in this race? Time will tell. 5 minutes and 38 seconds left to go as this one comes down to it. Round 4 of the championship here at Donington Park. The national layout for the first time since 2022. And it's been an incredible bit of racing, especially towards the start of this one. And now after that, we're going to have a lot more action later on as now we head back onto the front straight once again to begin another lap. These drivers have now completed about 24 laps. Nixon ahead has nailed the drive-through penalty and good to go as another fresh new bits of cuts, but trouble. Lap car up ahead, so wants to stay on one side of the circuit and does so. Peter's going to go through. Eamon also going to follow through, but looks like Peter may have lifted off watching the car ahead because Eamon all over the rear of the Audi into the hairpin, heading back out. Bit of a lift. And gap opened up. And Nixon lagging quite a bit in the background. Still a bit more lag. Santos is not that far either, 2.2 seconds. Less of a chance that Peter could catch up to the podium rather than this man. Oh, in trouble! Eamon Asseir! Drive through for cutting! The second driver to bite it, he was P5! He was on the tail end of the BOP, and that has left him with trouble here. Needs to get a drive-through penalty done as soon as possible. Slams the brakes and in, and that is nightmare stuff. The second driver to bite, unfortunately. That's going to allow Santos the 5th position. You take a look at those points. Top 5 are going to get BOP equal to each other. So you got to imagine what this one's going to turn out here. This is Wanto. Lap car to the race leader who's going to be taking the maximum points here today in his first race. Nowhere near the championship picture, but this is going to be a statement for the Andy Master Racing squad as they look to return, hopefully next 2 weeks for the Endurance Championship coming up that has already been announced. You take a look at those points. It's very interesting. Remember, Jaden Harrison not here today, so this time his championship lead is going to be going down. Let's go a little bit bigger on the cam side here as we watch this battle. Lucas Smith and Eamon Asseir. Vitor in second, not here today. Peter Sabot, currently 3rd in the championship, 4th here today. He's going to be the big winner out on points. Now, we have a battle on our hands to not miss a single beat of it. Eamon Asseir for 7th and Lucas Smith for 8th. Who is going to be able to take home this position here as they head into turn 1. Looked for the inside move, but that may have been just Eamon trying to open his Cupra out to try to get a better entry, but the exit has been compromised just that bit. Luca now into the Hollywood section of the circuit. Contact is made, door to door. Oh, and Eamon slid off the circuit, gets right back on, slides off again. Oh, and Eamon's off. Loses the position to Luca. Was that because Luca tapped into him? Or did Eamon tap into Luca? And that one, that's a very interesting one there. Well, leave your picks there in the chat. From the onboard section, it did look like the gap was being closed as they headed into the left-hander going downhill. But at the same time, Luca was not within, well, that distance there to try to put side by side. So therefore it was still Eamon's corner in one of the fastest parts of the circuit. And that is going to be a bit of a controversial one. That's going to heat up Eamon quite a bit. Drive-through penalty, and feeling like he was just bullied out one of the fastest parts of the circuit. Gap's 1.9, but we still have 1 more minute to go. And in fact, we're heading into the final lap, because Mads is going to come across the line here, and there's not going to be any chance to complete 2 more laps, so this is it. 1 to go here at Donington Park for the sprint. To come soon, the main race, it's all to this man here. Any closer battles we have on track? We have Layla and Eamon. Let's see what happens here. Is there any chance for Layla to go up to 8th position here in her debut? Gap is opening up quite a bit, 1.1 the distance, but we're on the final lap of this one. No more laps after it. As they cross over the start-finish line to start their final laps of the race, eyes are on this man here as he's just gotten past the lap traffic of Danny Nasseir. I don't think any other moves can be made. I could be wrong because there's still that gap for P8. Nonetheless, though, he's already feeling happy. Krogsgaard is waving his wheel left and right on the back straight because he's already known he's got the job done. Almost 20 seconds. Mads is going to take victory here for the main race at Donington Park. What a race. What a drive it was for him. We also saw Asseir losing the position to Layla in the closing stages of this race. Battle's not over between them. Still have some more fought battles, but the other drivers come over the podium. It's Ramau in second, Lesmana in third, Peter Sabo for 4th. 5th place goes to Daniel Santos with 6th. And the other drivers going down the order, but they head into the final chicane. Layla's gonna get the move done successfully through Hollywood, and that's going to be a finishing position. Very, very happy for her in her first one. P8 goes to Layla. But Eamon's not going to be very happy about that one. But on the other side, the other flip side of things, it's Mads on top here for the main race of the championship. And that is exactly what they needed. It may not be for the championship, but it's for a statement. And that statement is truly made here today. And crowd is loving it here today at Donington Park. What a battle there. So we're going to talk to our man here, who's taking home P1. And you see the other drivers. Looks like they're also following in podium formation. And, ooh, bit of contact there for Matt. But nonetheless, though, he's going to be very elated with this one. You see Lesmond just giving him a little friendly tap. You watch the drivers there. Sprint race is coming up very soon. Let's talk to our driver in P1. Great bit of action there. Fair bit of incidents to be looked at after the race, but nonetheless, we have ourselves a race winner, a very dominant one as well. And we want to talk to him now, who sits P1 back on the top step. We call him up. That's you take home P1, and not just any sort of P1, a statement of a P1. Your gap was 19 seconds when you crossed over the start-finish line. That's got to feel amazing to return back to the top step, being quick all week long.
I mean, it feels very nice, but had massive POP advantage since I didn't race. So yeah, it was the start was interesting. I think we went 3 wide into turn 1. I had a small step from behind it. I thought I was going to spin out, but managed to save it. And then Ilham let me pass a couple laps later. So it was quite nice.
That was a very, very great battle there at the start of the race, but unfortunately, it was really the only bit of action you really had to have here. But did that really matter to you, or was this just a nice cruise to take the checkered flag?
I mean, it was just trying to stay within track limits. They're quite strict here, so it's. I'm looking forward to the next race because that is definitely going to be interesting with the restrictor now and the randomized grid. So I was looking forward to see if I can do anything or if I'm just in a very bad position now. But yeah.
Well, it's only Eamon that was able to get back-to-back P1s. It wasn't done on track, however, so you're looking to see if you can go back-to-back P1s on track.
I will try my best.
Best of luck to you. And I know Andy in the chat is willing you on as well. All right, that's going to do it for the main race. We're going to take a short intermission, and we're going to come back for the sprint. We'll let you know when the server is back up. Should be up in about 5 minutes time. Take that break and we'll be back. So what an incredible race here in that first one. Championship is looking pretty sweet at the moment. We're not going to know the official points till after both events are done. So it's now time for the sprint to commence. 10 laps of racing coming up very soon. Don't go anywhere. It's going to be chaos, as all the drivers know it all too well. We'll see you then.
The Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club, since its inception back in 2021, has given us some of the greatest championships to date, from the humble beginnings of the DTM Championship to the recent Formula One World Championship. It's clear that competition is alive and fierce. But out of the 3.5 years of its existence, there has always been that one series that has stood the test of time as of the league's closest to date. 2022 saw the TCR Euro-Asia Series in its eye-watering 3-wide racing with the inclusion of reverse grids. 2023 witnessed the BTCC Legends Championship, still talked about to this day, with its perfect balance of performance. And finally, 2024 had the Ferrari Challenge, where the points battle could not have been closer, with a 3-way tie at the end of it all, with the addition of your points going to your best result per round. So now, how does 2025 top all that? Combine all 3 championships and create something sim racing has never seen before. Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club presents the TCR World Series.
All the days when I was searching for some kind of sign, now I've reached the destination with someone of my kind. Keep me breathing with a feeling like an LED light. Now I'm moving through the shadows. You woke me up tonight. I know that everything's in focus now. I see you really for the first time.
Welcome to Donington Park. Located in England, Donington Park National Circuit is one of the UK's most iconic venues for touring car racing. Originally opened in 1931, it was Britain's first permanent park circuit, and after the post-war revival in the 1970s, it became a home for high stakes and elbows-out action. Our main focus will be the national layout. It measures 3.1 kilometers with just 10 corners, but don't be fooled. It's fast-flowing and absolutely relentless, with its unique mix of elevation, camber, and mixed-speed sweepers. Donington demands commitment and rewards rhythm. Over the years, the track has hosted everything from Formula One briefly in 1993 to World Superbikes, British GT, and touring car royalty with BTCC and TCR UK. In CMRSC, Donington Park has played host to all iterations of the DTM World Championship, but the national layout was only used during the 2022 90s Touring Car Championship. When TCR machinery hits the national layout, it's an all-out sprint. Short laps, close grids, and door-to-door drama from lights to flag. Forget downforce, this is where front-wheel drive warfare begins. Let's dive into what makes Donington National such a TCR battleground, starting off with, of course, Turn 1. A classic opening right-hander. Brake late, hug the inside line, and get ready for the downhill plunge. Side-by-side starts are common here, but only one line really works. Turn 4, the old hairpin. Don't let the name fool you, however. This is a fast hairpin. Carry too much speed and you're into the gravel. Nail the exit and you're set for a strong run to the uphill. Turn 6, McLean's. A tough uphill right-hander with a blind apex. Easy to overshoot, especially under pressure. Front-wheel drive cars struggle to rotate here, so trail braking is everything. And then, turn 8 and 9, Roberts chicane, the big bust up. This left-right chicane is your best overtaking spot on the national layout. Expect bold lunges, lockups, and side-by-side drama. It's also the final corner, so exits matter, especially to the run to the line. However, maybe running the correct direction, that final chicane would be going right to left. But no matter, Donington Park isn't about survival. It's about control, bravery, and taking big chances when they come. So, in TCR racing, that means intense drafting battles in late braking duels and non-stop pressure over every lap. Short racing, big moments. If you want proper touring car action, this is where you're gonna find it. In the world of Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club, this will be host of the 4th round of the 2025 CMRSC TCR World Series. A circuit not known by the masses still pulled off a spectacle as drivers gave it their all, and now the championship fight is really up for grabs. Nasseir returned strong with 2 victories in the Brazilian Grand Prix, making history, and not only is he at a distant 8th in points, the momentum shift has really painted his championship picture. Now onto a grander scale. The next stop before the Green Hell takes place here in the UK, where we see BOP used for the final time in the championship. So that begs the question, who will come out strong in the penultimate race of the championship, as this is round 4. The British CMRSC TCR Grand Prix. And we are back for another bit of racing. It's the sprint race of the TCR World Series. Well. The drivers now hit with their BOPs, and now we just have 10 laps of racing to find out who is going to be the best of the best. Now, 2 weeks ago, back at Sydney Motorsport Park, Jaden Harrison won race 1 without a pit stop, but took the race win in race 2. 2 races where he finished P1. However, in the first one, due to his penalty, it didn't count. Then we switch over to the round after that, to Ruma. A different instance went down, where it was race 1, Eamon won. Race 2, Eamon won because Peter Sabot got a penalty in that one. So that begs this question. Can Mads be the one to win race 1 and win race 2? Take a look at those lap times there at the moment. 1:10.698 against 1:10.702 for a driver who has BOP and the driver who doesn't. Mads looked and sounded very happy with his performance, so we're going to find out what goes on here for this one.
All the days when I was searching for some kind of sign. Now I've reached the destination.
So, here we go. Practice is done now. 10 laps of action coming your way here. We're going to find out the grid. It's completely randomized. This is going to be an exciting one here. You see all the drivers sitting in the pit lane, getting ready for this bit of action. Who is it going to be? We're going to be holding on tight and finding out what it's going to be here for this one. If you're enjoying the stream, make sure that subscribe button. We're on course for 1,500 subscribers. It means so much for all the support you've given us throughout the years of CMRSC, but this is it. 30 seconds to go till we find out what's going to go down here. So just a reminder, this is going to be a 10-lap sprint race, no mandatory pit stops. Standing start as well. Best of luck. So there are your drivers who finish now where they do. Here we go. What's that grid going to be looking like as they all head on the circuit? Waiting for all the cars to come through. For the countdown. And we are seeing a Rahul Nasseir taking pole position. Back-to-back pole positions in the sprint race. I'd like to thank my family and everyone who has supported me this far. It means a lot. My car will disappear once the lights come up, so you don't have to worry about my car on pole. So here we go. Layla will be starting on pole position, followed by Christian Romao. Then it's Mike Van Dorn, Ilham Lesmana, Nixon, Peter, Regan, Mads, Danny, Tizwanto, Evan, Luca, Eamon, Daniel, and DeVille. Very interesting here of a grid. So this is going to be a very interesting one. So we're going to have to move our camera just about here and watch the drivers go off. Unfortunately, my car will not be able to take the start. Even though it has my name up there, I won't be able to take part in this race as much as I'd love to. 1 minute to go, though, for this one. So this is it. Lights are going to come on for the drivers very soon. Our countdown is not going to be the lights. But here we go. Timer coming down. This is the important one here. The sprint race about to commence. Throttling down. Here we go. Who's it gonna be to take home race victory? We're underway for the sprint race. here at Donington Park. Already been a contact. Nixon trying to go through, but it's Layla in the lead in her debut race. Now coming into race 2. Couple cars in the background as Van Doren goes up the inside of Nixon, heading up into 3rd place. Lesmond on the outside of Regan, but Mike gets it all wrong, trying to go through Hollywood. Here we go, racing underway, back once again for just 10 laps, but Van Doren taking the advantage of Romao on the inside, goes to the old hairpin, gets the move done. A little bit of lag in the mid-pack as well. We also have, Krog's car trying to go through, and Lucas Smith in, Lesmana. 3 cars, all red cars going through, but it's Luca who's up to 6th. Pretty hefty racing so far, and a lot of positions still being changed, like Nixon trying to go down the inside of P3 of Christian Romao. And now Regan Milana, who was taken out back in the last race. Now's an opportunity to climb back through. A little bit of lag from Nixon once again. And Luca has a fun show to watch as they head into the chicane. Oh, but a little bit of contact as Nixon has been bulldozed through. Oh, lots of cars going off. Lots of cars going off. It's a huge, huge accident in the back. A lot of cars going off. Damn, we're trying to find all the incidents, but our camera crew sucks around here at Donington. That is a lot of drivers. Mads, Evan, Peter Sabot, DeVille Park. It all started with, well, I think it was Nixon who was pretty slow through the chicane, and it has left the drivers to just stack up behind. That is a huge, huge crash. It's now really closed everyone up in this mid-pack here as well. While Layla leads, lap 2 of 10. We see down the inside of Assetto topping Daniel Santos out the way. Big rivals of CMRSC. No love is lost there between them. It's Santos struggling now on the outside as Matt's trying to follow through. Regan Milana also up there trying to fight. Danny Nasseir, 6th place. 8th, 9th, 10th, though, is the battle we're watching on our screens as they head into the chicane. Looking up the road, though, Danny Nasseir gets a bump from Milana. Oh, sorry, I say Eamon Esbier. My apologies. As Danny Nasseir trying to keep his way through, but he's gotten a little love tap from the rear, but has helped him in the grand scheme of things. And here we go. We also have, sliding off Matches off the circuit. Was he taken out? That looked very violent of a spin. He's off the circuit. But now this battle comes down here. Eamon trying to look for a move on Danny Nasseir. Better run for Officer Milan as he goes down the inside trying to find a move on Eamon Esbier. They're both trying to get past Danny Nasseir for 6th position. Danny's holding it off very well unless Eamon has a word to do about it. He's got a cracked headlight display, but luckily for him, they don't need headlights. They're not going into the dark anytime soon. Regan, great run there on the outside, looking for a move. We're on board with Danny Nasseir, watching this battle unfold. Can he find a move down? Eamon goes outside, swiping to the inside, trying to get a better run. Oh, great run. Potentially. No, the weight holding him down. But it's looking really close. Needs to get a send of a lifetime. And there you see, down the inside, Danny Nasseir, Lesmana going through. And Eamon to the outside. Can they stick across, though? Still side by side. Eamon closes the door a little too early for him. Gets it done. Meanwhile, as we were talking about this, Christian Romao made the move on, or should I say Luca made the move on Christian Romao as Danny Nasseir touches the grass on the outside. It may drop down to 7th. He finished 3rd in the sprint race last week out. Hard-hitting battles between these drivers. Santos holding on, trying to get onto the inside. Door is not open enough for any move to be made. There you see your drivers just up the road. Their gaps have really opened up and increased as they start to escape the glory of all this battling going on out here. Layla still holds on to the lead with Van Doren in 2nd. Side by side, though, Lesmana and Regan as they head already into the halfway stage of this race. Move done there. Regan's up to 6th. We also have DeVille getting the move done on a mistake because Daniel Santos went wide off the circuit. Danny Nasseir defends from Evan Steinberg. Just behind him, Regan 6th, 7th, Ilham, Danny 8th, Steinberg 9th, DeVille 10th. Steinberg, though, may have a better run heading down through Hollywood. But look at the damage from the rear end. Something went wrong. Has a lot of damage, but still has the heart to fight on. Round the outside of the old hairpin. Can he get it done? Gone wide. Back onto the racing surface. DeVille Park may be able to pass him. He does. Trying to go for the whole shot. Trying to get Danny, but there's no room for him. Danny Nasseir sticking his line at DeVille. Spins it all the way. DeVille off the surface. Danny Nasseir still holding on to the defense. He's still on to 8th position. Up the road, though, you see Lesmana and Regan battling out here for 6th position. 5 laps to go. Layla still in the lead for her debut race. Could we see another driver who takes their debut victory on their first time out? Last time, I can't recall the last time right now. There's too much action going on track. Holy, oh, trouble. Van Dorn, what's happened to Van Dorn again? Has Van Dorn retired? I don't see Van Dorn on track. We're looking for him. Did he retire again? He was in P2. Last week it was the same thing. He's out. Mike Van Dorn is out of the British sprint race. It's back-to-back sprint races. He's out of contention again. His game crashed. That is unfortunate there. That is absolutely huge. Mike Van Dorn, another opportunity at a race win in sprint races, gone again. His championship hopes are really going down the order, and as a result, on his main race, points result. That is the worst thing he wanted. Layla is in the lead and has a chance at glory. Luca 2nd. 2 drivers making their very first events here in CMRSC as all the fast drivers in the background. It's a race that all the drivers need to nail down perfectly as they head into the Nürburgring in just 7 days' time. As you see Steinberg, can he finally get the move done? Danny's not going to let him through so easily. Through Hollywood, gap is 2/10. Can anything be done to try to get the move done on Danny Nasseir? Danny goes wide on the old hairpin. Steinberg puts the power down. Not that quick enough to get a move, but he's under the slipstream as they head up, going to the double left, and then it's going to be the double right-hander. Has to force an error onto Danny Nasseir. Danny does not fully hit the apex. Better run for Steinberg. Danny defends onto the blind apex to the double right-hander. Nose to tail. And still holding on. It's your closest battle we have on track here. 3 laps to go. This is a huge race here for so many drivers. The top 3 are not even in championship contention. It goes down to Eamon, who's now onto 4th position. Here comes Steinberg. Can he finally get the move done? Round the outside. Can he do it? Danny may not be able to hold on for much longer. Finally, Evan Steinberg gets the move with 3 to go. That's what he needed. That is what he needed. He's up to 7th. Oh, in trouble for Danny! Danny Nasseir goes wide! Can he hold on back onto the racing surface? On board with Madsen. Oh, we cannot hold on! As he was defending, he dropped 1 tire in the grass. He's gone down to 10th. And that has gone from bad to worse. In terms of Mads, though, he had that incident early on through the chicane. Not helped him at all, either. He's down to 8th. All these drivers who have made their impacts in race 1, it stays like that for race 1. There's race 2 now. Well, it's the opportunity for the drivers outside the top 5 to make some action. Through the chicane, though, but these guys still have some opportunities to get some moves done, notably Santos and Mads. Now here we go. Mads on the outside. That was your previous race winner just now. Trying to look for a move on Santos. Didn't really get this battle here. Anything. Can anything be done? Ooh, into the old hairpin. And he's got a better run. Onto Santos. Double left is going to favor the car on the inside. Anything. Can anything be done for a position here? Mads, though, has the inside. Dives it down. Does he stick it? No. Contact is made. Contact is made. Santos tried going right to get out the way. He's been collected as well. Oh, and both of them go down. Both of them are down. Wow. Huge, huge turnout here. And take a look. Evan and Ilham. What a fight. What a fight this is for the final lap now of this race. And here we see your race leader at the moment, Layla, in her first event in CMRSC. Second start today, but it's still going to count in the history books if she can get it done. If not, history will still be made because behind Lucas Smith, if he picks it up, that would be an incredible finishing position for him, who had a very bad race one, can turn it all around. But this is it. Final couple of corners to go. One mistake can do it. Layla goes wide off the circuit, loses time. Final chicane to go. Cannot crack under pressure now. You cannot just want to get the drive-through. Layla around the chicane. I cannot believe I'm saying it, but we have a new race winner. The first female to win in CMRC in so long. Layla takes victory. Lucas Smith takes second place. A great recovery. Eamon, can he do it? Side by side on the line. Has he got it? Has he got it? We don't know. We don't know. The podium timing sheet say Ramau is there. We also have another one almost. Steinberg and Ilham side by side at the line. We also have Danny Nasseir. Oh my goodness, 3 photo finishes at the line. 3 photo finishes at the line. Oh my goodness. It's the best sprint race I've ever seen in CMRSC. Layla, for the first time in her career, in the first race of her career, oh my goodness, takes victory. Takes victory. Evan says he ran out of fuel at the line. That's why Layla's got it done. That is a huge, huge victory for her. As the first time a female has taken victory in Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club since Sarah back in 2022's DTM Championship, before it was called the World Championship. Congratulations to one of the new prospering drivers in Caribbean Hope Motor Racing Sim Club. Holy moly, that was awesome. That was incredible. Awesome racing there. Once again, we'll look at all incidents after the stream is cut off, but as it stands right now, we have ourselves a brand new race winner making history here today in CMRSC. That is awesome racing. We're gonna drag you up here now. First time race winner here, Layla. We invited you up. And Layla, wow. Victory. Victory for you. That's gotta be awesome, isn't it?
I'm speechless.
Take us through it. How was that one for you?
I mean, like, I didn't expect at first, like, I expected people to be in front of me at the restart. Then I saw nobody. And I was like, okay, I won, what now? Am I gonna lose positions on the start? Am I gonna stall it? Then I didn't. And suddenly I'm just a race winner. Like, didn't do anything special, didn't do any special pace kind of thing. Nothing, I just raced. That was shit.
take us through the start. That was an incredible one from you to just hold on, and then it was the real battle towards the mid part of this race. How was that? What are the emotions?
I mean, at one point when I, like, after 3 laps, I started, like, shaking because I saw, like, that the only person close to me was Mike. I know that we were on similar pace. Then on lap 7, I believe, he was just gone. I don't know where he went. I think he crashed out of server or something. So I just find myself with a huge gap from Luca, and then from there I just took it easy. I was already excited starting first, and now I'm just over the clouds.
Not many people can say they've won it in their first event, but you have, so emotions must be all the way up there. Any shout outs you want to make?
I mean, definitely Amen, who is one of my teammates, and all the people from my team, Spirit Racing, and I don't know, honestly, friends watching, I guess. I have some friends watching, so...
Incredible effort. Thank you so much for that incredible bit of action there we've seen you, and yeah, that was a real storybook ending for you. And we hope to see you with more events in the future, that's for sure. If the very first one you could win it, let's see what you could do in the future.
Yeah, I hope.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And now we'll head into our driver, who is now in P2. Unfortunately, I don't see them here in the chat. No, I do not. So we're unable to get that one there. Nonetheless, though, now we move on to third position, which, well, we have a photo finish on our hands here for third place. We have 2 timing sheets saying different things. So we have to now get to the bottom of who finished in third position, as we are not too sure. But it was incredible battles. Incredible battles all the way to the very end. We've actually had, I think I counted it, 3 photo finishes to the checkered flag. So that was incredible. So, Eamon, I have one thing telling you were P3, and then I have another screen telling Ramau he's got P3. So, wow, you got the screenshot there. Holy. I'm actually trying to pull it up on our stream here in just a second. And we're gonna find out for ourselves. We got a screenshot in the chat, but we want to show off here that this may be our closest finish in CMRC history. Trying to find it live here. We're on our standby screen looking for it. Lounge is already discussing about the race. But, wow, that was still incredible driving from the pack. And a very, very interesting sprint race there to the very end. So we're just loading it up on our stream side here. And just to get a confirmation, even though I see that screenshot. And we're going to get that one right now. Let's find it here on track side. And here we go. So this is what it looked like. Let's go to the line. And this is going to be close. We saw it. We saw the photo finish. It said Christian finished in third, but I've seen one too many photo finishes in CMRSC. That is a photo finish, ladies and gentlemen. Yep, confirmed. Eamon, you are P3. I'll drag you up here. Oh my goodness, that was close. I'm looking at it live. Inches. Eamon by inches. That was incredible. How was that? How was that one?
I mean, it was very difficult coming back through the field, like especially with so many cars today compared to last week. But to get that P3 was quite satisfactory.
Well, take us through the whole race. It wasn't just about that photo finish. It was really about you climbing up through the order with the amount of battling that was going on through the midfield, especially. Take us through it.
It was very messy, especially the start. There was a car that was stopped. That I got a pretty decent launch. By the time I managed to react to the car in front had already collided with it. So I got 2 cars sideways in front of me, and that gave me quite a bit of damage, which on a track like this, and especially with my driving style, it gave me less front end on the car. So it was a bit difficult sometimes to get around it. At first I was locking up into turn 1. I had to readapt for a second. And then from there it was just about dealing with cars as fast as possible to get into some clean air. Once I got in clean air, I managed to just push on, pray for the best, and managed to catch P3 on the last lap. I gave it everything I had. I tried an overtaking sector 2. Didn't work out. Really great defense from him. It was really good and respectful battle with him. At the end, I tried to stick it around the outside. I noticed that I had more on the top speed, so I went for the outside. Once I saw that he tried to outbrake me, I switched back and tried to get the best exit I could, and it paid off. I barely managed to squeeze out a podium, and I'm very happy with that.
You must also feel happy that the driver that did shout you out, who took the race win, took that one on top. So that's got to feel nice for your camp.
Yeah, shout out to all of Spirit Racing right now. I see them watching in our team. They're in the VC all watching us. Shout out for them. They're a great support. And shout out to Layla for her first win. That is really good to know that we got multiple people in the team that are doing really good. First, the podium from Lacey last week, and now a race win. I feel like our camp is doing pretty good.
Pretty good indeed. I'll let you go and head into the lounge if you want to talk with the drivers after, but incredible action from you is really going to help your points, especially going to this last round here. Congratulations. Great P3 result.
Thank you.
So that's going to do it. I already see half the drivers heading already into the lounge to discuss about that race. I'll be there as well with you guys. But next week out, we head into the Nürburgring. It's going to be a big race. Format is slightly different for it, but this is also the last time you're going to be having BOP in this championship. So have fun out there for this last one. It's a very difficult circuit to really climb on down, but I think everyone already knows that. Congratulations to our race winners. Great turnout here as well. And we'll hope to see everyone next week for the final round of the championship at the Nordschleife. So that's going to do it for that one there. All the drivers finishing up. Incredible results there. That's going to do it here for CMRSC. Thank you so much for tuning in to another fantastic race in this championship. One to go. It is the Nürburgring. The points are all settled. 4 rounds complete. 1 round to go. It's time for the green hell. And I can't wait to see you there to it. 1 more to go. I'll see you in Germany for the final round of the championship.